thank you for joining us. I'm Joy.
And I'm Laura.
And this is The Witches of Letters, a supernatural rewatch podcast.
Buckle up as we dive into Season 2, Episode 11, Playthings.
So, you hate dolls.
I do hate dolls.
And this is a very doll-heavy episode.
Yeah, they were creepy. Especially there's a clown one. Why? Why is there a clown one? Did you see him?
Oh, I did see him this time. So, like, whenever Laura and I watched this episode, we watched this episode together, which was really nice. And we were messaging each other on WhatsApp through the episode. And Laura was like, clown, I hate it. And I had somehow got behind, and she had somehow got ahead. So we were watching it slightly different times, and I literally just didn't see it. I think I must have accidentally fast-forwarded. So when I sat down to do my notes today, it jump scared me because I had totally forgotten it and I didn't see it the first time. And I was just like, oh, why? And the thing is, like, I'm not like
stands out.
I'm not super clown phobic. I don't love like the scary clowns. I'm like, oh, that's scary. But like I don't have that knee-jerk reaction. I don't have like the proper like phobia like Laura does. But even I was like, what the fuck is that?
It's so creepy.
He's so creepy. And I wrote down like, what is this? I was like, jump scare clown doll. Wow, they love a clown scare in this episode. What is this, number 5? They've done it so many times. So I was like, I totally validate Laura's original rant about this because it's just been like, it's been references to that clown doll that's in Poltergeist that apparently is responsible for all calorophobia throughout everywhere because it traumatized so many kids who watched that movie. And I just feel like there's been so many things like the creepy clown mobile in that one episode where Sam's trying to save the kid. And there's obviously the whole creepy clown apocalypse episode that we've watched. But it's just like consistently peppered throughout, like creepy clowns, and it continues on. There's other scary clown episodes. So like it's like their favorite thing.
And the dolls, because we had creepy dolls in Providence a little bit as well.
We did. Okay. And then I have, if you guys haven't seen this reel on my Instagram page, go on our Instagram. I don't know why I said mine. Go on our Instagram page.
It's just yours.
I don't know what the hell that was like a hostile takeover.
Well, I mean, you do run the social media, so the Instagram.
It's not just me, but I think what I was thinking was I put together this edit of this reel where there's an interview, so I think that's why I said mine, where there's an interview of Jensen talking about how much he hates dolls and how he finds dolls so creepy. And he cited this episode as one of his scariest episodes. So he said The Benders was like right up there. And then he said this episode, Playthings, was the next one. And that he was like really horrified when he walks into this room and it's just full of creepy dolls wall to wall. And actually I'm not super terrified of dolls. Like I do not have that phobia, but I am like uncomfortable when they're filming in the doll room. So like for Jensen, who like actually has a terror of them, that must have been so hard to act. And I'm sure there was probably an element of like crew and writer prankage going on there.
Oh, there was. I have a fun fact.
Oh, I'm excited.
Well, it's just basically that. So apparently both of them were scared by the dolls, and then Jared pranked Jensen because on IMDb it says Jared Padalecki admitted that both he and Jensen Ackles were freaked out by the room full of porcelain dolls. As a prank, he made sure to put some in Ackles' trailer.
Oh my god. And then Danielle, his wife, bought dolls that are supposed to be haunted, didn't she? Like the old school dolls, and was moving them around the house to mess with him.
I love that clip.
Girl. It is amazing.
Yeah, I really liked the episode though. Like, as a whole, I loved the haunted house vibes or the haunted hotel vibes. There's so many Stephen King references as well, which I enjoyed.
Oh my god, so many. I feel like this is the heaviest so far. Like there have been episodes that have been very Stephen King heavy, which is valid. This one I feel like is the most Like, this was a
Definitely.
ridiculous amount. I feel like there might even be some that I haven't picked up on, but I've picked up on so many, so I can't wait to, like, have your
Yeah.
confirmation of all of them because I know you're a true Stephen King fan, and I'm
Mhm.
sure that you're gonna have picked up everything.
Apparently, there's mixed reviews on IMDb though, because I was reading some of the reviews this time, and some people are saying it's their favorite episode, and then there was people saying um, that it was really boring. So they're wrong,
I
those people.
guess I guess they're not scared of dolls. I don't know.
I thought even if you're not scared of dolls, I feel like it's a good episode. But then maybe those
I think
people are
it's a
the
good
ones that like
episode.
the main storyline episodes, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. Like, I don't know. I just feel the only thing that I can think of is it's really similar to certain X-Files episodes. And I
Uh huh.
wonder if those people are people who are fans of the X-Files and they feel like they've seen it before. So maybe that's why.
Maybe. I like
I don't
both.
know.
I'm not never bored when there's an X Files reference or a Stephen King reference.
Oh no, I love it. I loved this episode, literally. Um,
Yeah.
there's so many thirst traps in this episode too.
Yes, there is. I have another couple of fun facts just for the preamble because I wasn't sure where to put them.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you those? So there's one,
Yes.
which is this is the last time that we see Sam wearing a plaster cast on his wrist. I don't know.
Oh, he
We were talking
finally
about
got
that
better.
on WhatsApp because I think it was the bit where he jumps into the pool. I'm like, he shouldn't be doing that with a plaster cast on.
They made him get that cast wet so many times. Laura was messaging me and she was like, "Oh my god, he's still wearing a cast. How long is filming? How long did it take him to heal?" And they were talking about how like there were pranks where like he got buckets of water dumped on him and stuff, and he had to go
Yeah.
and get it recast a couple of times. So like I wonder if some of the on-set banter was on purpose messing up his cast so that he had to go and get it recast.
Oh. My
Banter.
other fun fact was that if you look closely, this is on IMDb again. The inside of the hotel looks just like the inside of the Salvatore boarding house from the TV show The Vampire Diaries. Um, I didn't really get that, but the only bit I thought did look like it because I had to look up pictures because I couldn't remember
Yeah.
what the house looked like from Vampire Diaries. Only just like the living room. Um, the corridor at the top where there's like an archway and then you can see the banisters on the stairs. That bit was quite similar.
Yeah, honestly, it does not look that much like the Salvatore house, in my opinion. I did
Yeah.
find an inn in Cornwall, Connecticut that I think they face this one off of, and I've put pictures in my show notes. Um,
Ooh.
so it is the Manor House Inn, in Cornwall, Connecticut. And if you look at it, it looks like I don't know if they built a set or if they filmed there, maybe, but it looks so much
Yeah.
like the building on the front is the same black and white like Tudor style Victorian era kind of build. It is a functioning inn, so you could go and stay in it if you wanted to. I feel like we should add it to the road trip. um I couldn't find anything about it being haunted. Like I couldn't find any websites or
No.
investigations, but having said that, it's like a 4-star hotel, so they're not going to do that.
Nice.
Like they're not going to pander to that. They're classy. But it even has, like, the gallery wall of antique-looking photos, the exact
Oh
same
yeah.
stairwell, like, all the same wooden paneling, carpeting, everything.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't look up where they filmed. I do have a note later about one of the sets. I think it's the pool house, but I
Mhm.
don't think I had anything about the actual house. So they could have filmed it there.
Yeah. So, in Monroe, Connecticut, one assumes up the road from this location, is where Ed and Lorraine Warren have their haunted museum with Annabelle, who is the most haunted doll,
Ah,
isn't she? So
yeah.
I can't like I know this is a haunted doll episode, but we've already done all the haunted dolls. I did check. I was like looking for other great haunted dolls, especially because it's fun. It's banter with Laura, isn't it? Like prank each other. But I covered all of the best ones already, and then I went looking on Reddit threads and everything, and honestly, they're just dull. Okay, they're just dull. Like, get better hauntings. Um, so we've already done that. We've already also done Hoodoo because we literally did Hoodoo a couple of episodes ago. In Crossroad Blues, I actually broke down and covered hoodoo and its misrepresentations in horror and why that's a problem. And so I feel like the issue that I have with this episode is I've already done all the haunted doll lore, and I've also already done all of the hoodoo stuff. So I don't want to be repeating myself. So like suffice it to say that hoodoo is problematic in this episode because it's
Yeah.
it's the scary ominous bad guy that looms over them. And then we find out that it was a white lady that did it, and that makes it okay. So like it's just like continuing on the tradition of Hollywood being really problematic in representations of hoodoo. And so yeah, that's all I have to
Yeah.
say about that for this episode. So I didn't really do any like folklore lore stuff because it was all hoodoo that was the folklore, and I was like, well, we did that.
Yeah.
Um
And it's kind of like a red herring anyway.
exactly, it is a total red herring. So I've chosen to focus on really haunted places and ghost girls.
Oh. Oh no, creepy
And
kids.
creepy kids. Yeah.
Should I do my synopsis?
Yes, please.
So this is season 2, episode 11, Playthings. The original air date for this episode was January 18th, 2007. Sam and Dean investigate a haunted hotel after a few strange deaths occur there. At first, they think a hoodoo curse is to blame, but soon realise the deaths are linked to the hotel being sold and the plans to tear it down. The boys tell the current owner, Susan, that she needs to leave with her mother and children when her life is threatened, but tells them that she only has one child, a daughter named Tyler. This whole time, we have seen 2 little girls, but it turns out one is the spirit of the grandmother's sister who died from drowning in the pool as a child, and she wants Tyler to stay there with her forever. Maggie, the ghost child, pushes Tyler into the pool to drown her, but Sam breaks in and rescues her. The grandmother calls the spirit to her and makes a pact that she will stay there with her forever, but she needs to let the others go. During this episode, Sam gets drunk and tells Dean that he should kill him if he turns evil, echoing what John told Dean. Dean doesn't want to, but agrees because he doesn't think Sam will remember in the morning. But he does, and makes Dean promise.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, there's like the brotherly storyline in this episode as well, as the haunted house.
Drama. Family drama. My first note, like my first technical note as we get into the episode, it says just 2 words, and those words are doll murder.
Doll murder.
Doll murder.
Yeah. So the opening scene, we see a hotel. Well, we see the sign and it says Pierpont Inn, established 1930. Although I thought it looked older than that, but I don't know.
It definitely looks older than that. It looks like it was actually built in the 1600s or 1700s, kind of.
Yeah. So then we see a lady leading a man upstairs and he's there to collect boxes. I thought he was like a removal man, but I think he was taking things to charity, they say later. He's saying that his parents and grandparents got engaged there and he can't believe that she's closing. She tells him where the boxes are and he carries on up the stairs to retrieve them. The camera then pans to 2 girls sitting with their legs hanging through the banisters. One is upset that the man is taking her toys, and the woman says, it's only the ones you don't play with anymore. And then the other girl says, son of a bitch.
In a very Dean way.
Yeah, and the first girl repeats it and her mum says, watch your mouth. The girl protests that Maggie said it first, and the mum says that she should watch her mouth too then. And I had a side note, because my very first reaction when I saw these 2 girls was that one of them looked dead. I was like, she's going to be dead.
To be fair, you did say that. Like, she was messaging me and she was like, that girl is too pale. She's dead.
Yeah, she was too creepy.
Yeah. The creepy child was too creepy. She was definitely
And that was
dead.
before I even saw any of the dolls.
I literally didn't think any of that at all. I did not realize that she was dead for so long. I actually wrote down the exact point in my notes when I agreed that she was dead. But one thing that I noticed on the rewatch today is like that they kind of are like the Shining twins because they're wearing this very specific like uniform type old school looking dress. And they're kind of
like
matching each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're in this like silent agreement sort of throughout the episode. So I was like, oh, creepy horror children. Cool.
And the way that the woman reacts, it's like she's reacting to both of them. So they are trying to make it seem like
the shock twist, I am your daughter.
Yeah.
And the others.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of a whew.
I didn't think that she was a ghost at the start. I just made the observation that she looks really pale. She looks like she's dead, but I didn't actually make the link until a little bit later on.
Mm.
So then in the next scene, I just wrote in my notes, we cut to a bloody horrible shot of a whole bookcase full of creepy ass dolls. And why was there a clown one?
The clown doll jump scare.
Also, there was also a doll that had just black eyes, and I was like, well, that one's clearly possessed.
They really love eye horror and doll horror and clown horror. Like, those are like the staples of Supernatural.
It's like they knew I was going to make a podcast about it 20 years later and they were going to scare me.
Specifically targeting you, Laura.
Yeah. In 20 years'
Yeah.
time, there's going to be this woman who hates clowns, hates dolls, and hates eyes. Let's do this for her.
We're gonna scare the shit out of her. Yeah. It's a really interesting scene because it's subtly creepy. Like, it's not like overtly terrible creepy at first. She goes into this room that is full of Wikipedia note says, and I quote, rather creepy ass dolls and a large dollhouse. I was like,
yeah.
that's amazing. So like, it's really, I thought, so many. Why so many? But then I was distracted because I think the replica dollhouse of the hotel is so cool and it's so
Yeah.
cute. She's putting them all to bed and she's named them all and she knows who they are. And I was like, that's adorable. And then she looks over where there's a doll that wasn't where she left it. And she sees it lying on the floor of the dollhouse and the body's face down, but the head's twisted the wrong way around. And she just picks it up really slowly and looks at it. And then she hears her mom screaming.
Yeah.
And that's where the horror really starts to kick in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the man who has collected the boxes has fallen down the stairs and you just see him in like a puddle of his own blood and his head's turned the wrong way around as well.
So I wrote down doll murder because the same thing has clearly happened to him. Note 1. And I wrote, ooh, he's still alive. Gross. That is a 10 out of 10 because he's literally still alive. Like, his mouth, I didn't notice it before. I thought it was a dummy. But
Oh, yeah.
He's alive. His mouth is going, what, like a fish trying to breathe.
Like a fish, yeah.
Yeah, and his head's twisted 100% the wrong way. Not good. Huge puddle of blood. And I was like, blood everywhere. And then there's also a creepy ass doll right next to him who has a broken face now.
Yeah, it's all
and like
cracked.
That doll looks fucked up. Like, I kind of am okay with vintage dolls, but this doll looks not kosher at all. Like, just not okay. Like, definitely haunted.
Yeah.
And I
It
was
was
like,
a good scare.
That I wrote 10 out of 10 scare factor and also gore.
Yeah, because it makes you, at this point, I was like, what's going on? Is it the dolls that are killing people? Is it the girl, be a creepy girl?
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? I was like, is it the mom at one point?
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many red herrings in this episode. There's so many suspects. That's part of what was fun for me. Like, I love a whodunit.
Yeah, me too. So then we cut back to Peoria from the last episode, which is in Illinois. We see a map and a missing poster for Ava. So Sam is on the phone to Ellen. Dean comes in as he's hanging up and asks what she said. Sam's saying that she's heard nothing and he's been trying to do some online sleuthing to try and find out about Ava, but no one's heard anything. Sam says that Ellen told him about a potential case, though, and that's the case of this hotel. So that 2 freak accidents have happened in the past 3 weeks at a hotel in Cornwall, Connecticut. First, the lady drowned in the bathtub. And I wrote, was that in room 237? Then the man that we just saw with his head the wrong way around. And Dean doesn't understand why Sam wants to go on a job, as he would have thought that he'd be focused only on Ava. And I wrote, he basically calls him an emo kid.
He literally calls him an emo kid. He says, this is the exact line. I just figure after Ava there'd be, more angst and droopy music and staring out the rainy windows. And Sam gives him a death glare. And he says, yeah, I'll shut up now. And it's just, I love it so much. I wrote, Dean just called Sam emo. I'm dead.
Yeah, that's basically the same note out. And Sam says they've been looking for a month and haven't found anything. And I was like, wait a minute. They've been in that town for a whole month.
Yeah.
So yeah, but and then he says he's not going to give up on her, but he's also not going to let other people die either. And Dean says that attitude is way too healthy for me. I'm I'm officially uncomfortable now.
Yeah, that part was really funny.
That was funny. And then he says
I
to call
noted
Ellen and say
that.
they'll take it.
Did you notice the striking resemblance of the motel wallpaper to the pattern in The Shining on the carpets and stuff?
Oh,
It
one.
is
I don't think
so
so.
similar. It's not exactly the same, but it is so similar. Like, that has to be a reference.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. This whole episode is clearly a big old reference to
The
Stephen King.
Shining. Yeah. Not just The Shining, but definitely it's very The
Mainly The
Shining
Shining.
heavy.
Yeah,
Mainly
yeah.
The Shining. But what I'm really upset by is, later on there's that scene where they're trying to break into the building and for whatever reason they suddenly can't do something they're really good at.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, where is Dean's moment with an axe? There should always be a Dean moment with an axe. Especially
They've done
this
that so many
episode.
times.
What's wrong with them? I want it every episode. I want Dean to break down a door or go through a wall with an axe. It makes me so happy. So for this scene, I'm gonna rein myself in. For this scene, I just wrote down Sam is noble, and I did sparkly little like emojis around that because he clearly really cares about Ava, which is so romantic and adorable. And he has like he's made up a missing poster of her, um,
Yeah,
and pinned it to the wall. So like clearly she is the case that he is looking for. And then he's like, since the leads are cold and there's nothing I can do, we'll try to save as many people as we can while trying to save Ava. And I was just like,
yeah.
oh, this is so romantic. And I was so happy.
We love a romantic sound.
We do.
So they pull up outside the inn, and Dean is loving the haunted house vibes like I was, and tells Sam that he loves the fog, secret passageways, and the sissy British accents.
How do you feel about that line, Laura?
I don't
With your
mind. I
sissy
think
British
it's funny.
accent?
With my sissy British accent. That's all right. He probably like me.
Oh yeah.
He said he might even run into Fred and Daphne while we're inside, and then he makes like something about fancying Daphne. And I've written down in my notes they've made a few Scooby Doo references now, and I've seen on because I try not to get
Do
spoilers, but
you
I've
know?
definitely
Do
seen
you know?
Scooby Doo stuff. So I
Yeah.
assume they have a Scooby Doo style episode at some point, but I don't know
It's one of
when.
my favorite episodes. It's amazing.
Do I have to wait a
It's
really long
like
time?
so long to like the last season or the second to last
Ugh.
season, I think. Sorry. It's everything that you want it to be and more. I don't know how. I don't
That's
understand. I don't
gotta
understand
wait
how they did it.
ages.
But oh my god, it's everything. It's everything. Yeah, you do have to wait ages. I'm sorry about that. But I'm so excited. That's on my like I think about what I know is coming up, and I have this like list in my head of the episodes that I'm the most excited for you to finally see, and that is right up there.
I hate when I have like so long to wait for things. I just want to binge it all and then be like, right, it's a proper rewatch podcast now. But I won't do it. So Sam notices a pattern on a plant pot or an urn or something, and he says it's a quincux. And I was like, that's a brand new word. I've never heard that before, so I had to look it up. Which is an arrangement of 5 objects with 4 at the corners of a square or a rectangle and the 5th at the centre, used for the 5 on a dice or playing card, and in planting trees. Okay. I was like, okay. And Dean says it's used for hoodoo spell work, isn't it? And I just wrote, why are they obsessed with hoodoo at the moment on this show?
Mm-hmm.
Sam says something about it being a charm, and then Dean says something about the hotel looking too white meat for hoodoo, and I just wrote, okay.
I roll. That's what I wrote.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell? So anyway, they go inside and Susan greets them, and Dean asks for a room, and the 2 girls run through the lobby. Susan says they could be 2 of their final guests, and Dean says that sounds vaguely ominous, which I thought was quite funny.
That was really good.
She then explains she meant because they're closing, and then she asks them if they're there to go antiquing, and Dean says, how did you know? And she says they look the type and asks if they want a king-size bed, and then they both protest too much in an insecure man way, and Sam says, 2 singles, we're just brothers. And Dean says, what did you mean we look the type? And I just wrote, "Is it just me or did this joke go on too long?"
Mhm. Yeah. I didn't really know what to say about that scene,
Yeah,
but
it was
you
very
did it
strange.
perfectly. You did it perfectly.
And it comes back loads
Um,
of times as well. I'm like, "Why do they keep bringing this joke back?"
yeah.
It was more Sam that got offended by it anyway in this scene.
Sam, who can I just say is wearing um bedazzled denim again.
I didn't notice it this time.
He's wearing bedazzled denim. It's like not as obvious as the time when it was literally rhinestones, but it is like
That was so funny.
it's flashy. It's flashy, good sir. It's flamboyant, some might say. Low key flamboyancy.
This next bit though, so Sam, um, there's a joke coming up that I wanted to talk to you about. So Sam changes the subject and asks about the urn on the porch, and Susan says it's been there forever. And then she
Yeah,
gives Dean his credit card back and says, "Here you go, Mister Mahagov." I don't even
yeah.
know how you say that. Did you know what that is in reference to? Because I'd never heard of this in my life either.
I had no idea. It went over my head. What is it?
Oh, apparently it's a slang term for masturbation. I've literally never heard of that in my life.
You guys can't see me, but my mouth was all the way open. My jaw was unhinged. I had no idea. I
So
have
his credit card
never
is
heard that. Mr. Masturbation. Do you think he did that
yeah,
because, like, he's still riffing on Sam for the porn? Do you think he did
maybe.
that to mess with Sam?
Uh, and then she says they'll be staying in room 237, and I was like, this is Stephen King
Ding!
reference number 1 of 1 million in this episode.
Mhm. Yeah.
So Susan asks Sherwin, who's like a butler or something, to show them to their rooms, and he makes another gay joke. And I put, it's the joke that just keeps on giving. Because he says, let me guess, Antiques.
Antique. Yeah.
um, he then drags the bag up the stairs. This was so random, but also kind of funny because he's literally dragging it and it's like bumping up the stairs. Um,
Yeah.
and I wrote, I hope Dean doesn't have any breakables. um, but also, he's carrying Dean's bag, but not Sam's. So it's like, what's the point of that at all?
He thinks the big fella is the strong one.
He gives them a bit of hotel history as he's showing them to the rooms and how it's sad that it's closing. He opens the room and lets them in, and then he holds his hand out for a tip. And Dean looks annoyed, and he says, "You're not going to cheap out on me, are you, boy?"
That part is so funny. I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
And then Dean, like, really begrudgingly gives away his probably totally stolen cash. Because, like, he's never earned money legitimately in his life. So, like, he stole all that money anyway.
Yeah.
And he's so annoyed about handing it over to this older guy who just, I think it's because he's insulted that he carried his luggage and not Sam's, maybe. He just feels emasculated, I think. It's so funny.
He could have just put it on Mr. Wanker's credit card.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
So then we cut to a little bit later in the room, and for some reason there's just a white lace dress just hung up on the wall like a painting.
Wedding. A
Yeah,
wedding
it's a wedding
gown.
dress, but it looks like a ghost.
It
It looks
does
like
look
a
like a
ghost on the wall.
ghost. Yeah, it really does. It gives haunted.
And Dean also is like, because he says, "What the?" And
And
sounds like
Sam's like,
what?
what?
And he says, "That's normal." So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was funnily enough, we really did swap because I feel like usually Laura vibes with Sam and I vibe with Dean. But sometimes we swap out. And I was the same, like, I was on the same page as Sam. I was like, okay, whatever. I think I'm so used to seeing like kooky decor in the show that I'm just like, it's a vibe. And they were both like horrified by it. Laura literally said what Dean's line is
She's like,
again
"What is going on?"
before he said it. It's
I do that
so
quite a lot.
funny. You do, yeah. And Sam's just
But
like moving swiftly along to the actual case.
yeah, I would stay there though, because Dean says, "Why the hell would anyone stay here?" I was like, "Well, I would stay here, except for
I
the
would
creepy dolls."
100%. Okay, and that really nice one, if we can afford it, should go on the road trip. I want to stay in a 4-star hotel that looks exactly like
Yeah.
this haunted place.
So Sam's looking through some papers and starts telling Dean about the 2 victims so far. Dean points out that both victims were linked to the hotel shutting down, and Sam says maybe someone doesn't want to leave and they're using Hoodoo. Okay, Sam. I was like, isn't it?
Sigh.
Why jump to Hoodoo? It's probably just a regular haunting, would be my first guess. Dean's like, okay, so is Susan the witch doctor? Or Sherwin? Sam says, Susan's the one selling, so probably not. And then we have the resurgence of the same gay joke again when Dean asks, why does everyone assume we're gay? And Sam says, well, you are kind of butch. They probably think you're overcompensating. And I was like, what? This doesn't even make sense now. Why do you keep bringing this joke back? It's not even funny. It wasn't funny the first time.
They do repeat it a lot. I feel like they run it to death. Like, they beat this dead horse really hard.
Yeah.
The fact that there's the bisexual conspiracy theory about Dean, and Sam says, well, you are kind of butch. They probably think you're overcompensating. If you look at it through that lens, then it's funny. But that's kind of other than that, I just go, oh, sigh. But like when I look at it that way, it makes me laugh out loud, and then I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So then Sam and Dean walking down a corridor in the hotel. This is very The Shining. Sam spots another hoodoo symbol inside a vase somehow, because it's like right inside a vase. He's just walking past
Yeah,
it. How did you see that?
Why? Did he use his sarcastic air quotes powers?
He's got X-ray vision now.
I guess.
He points out to Dean and they knock on the door that's marked private. So this is like Susan's private residence part of the hotel. She opens the door and she asks if everything's okay. And they say they're great. And then there's an awkward silence because Susan's clearly thinking, well, why are you here then?
Super weird. They're super weird about it. Like, they're trying to see over her shoulders. They're like desperate to get into this room, which is
they're being so weird.
Awkward. So awkward. And I feel like usually at least Sam is more subtle. But I feel like neither of them were subtle. It was just like, let us in your private residence. It was weird. It was funny, but it was weird.
And they notice the creepy dolls over the shoulder, don't they? And he goes on to say that Sam has a major doll collection back home. Do you want to do this bit because it's funny?
I really do, because it's fucking hilarious. Okay, so he says, hey, are those antique dolls? Because this one, looking at Sam, this one here, he's got a major doll collection back home, don't you? Huh? And Sam looks so angry and annoyed, but like has to like swallow it down so that she doesn't realize that something's wrong. So he realizes he has to sell it because Dean has done this now and there's no taking it back. And he looks at her and he says, big time. And this is so well acted. This is literally hilarious. This is like peak comedy. This is one of the funniest scenes on TV. He's hating his brother, and it's beautiful. It is great. So Dean says, big time. You think he could come, or we could come in and take a look? And Susan's like, I don't know. And Dean says, no. Please. I mean, he loves them. He's not going to tell you this, but he's always dressing him up in these little tiny outfits, and you'd make his day, okay? She would, huh? Huh? And Sam, who looks really upset at this point, is like it's embarrassed. True. He's so embarrassed. And Susan just cracks finally and says, okay, come on in. And Dean's like, all right. And then he slaps Sam on the back. And Sam walks in and gives him a death look. Like, if looks could kill, R.I.P. Dean Winchester.
Yeah. When they go inside, Dean's like, wow, that's a lot of dolls. And they're nice, you know, they're not super creepy at all. Because he's me again.
He cannot handle it. And I swear, if you look close enough, you can probably see Jensen sweating, trying to handle the number of dolls in this scene.
I had another fun fact here as well.
Ooh, what's your fun fact?
Which is from IMDb again. So the set decorator, George Newman, recreated the creepy doll setup behind his desk in his office and maintained it until the final episode in 2020. Why? Why would you do that?
I kind of love that. That's kind of cool. I like that. So she says about how they've been in the family for generations. And I had written down, was this one crazy doll lady or like 3 generations of doll people? Because this is like Doll Island.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, I'm okay with giving that one a pass.
Let's not put it on the road trip.
Let's not. We will not put that on the road trip because I think you might actually die of terror.
Yeah. The Sam asked about the huge replica of the hotel, and I wrote, "It does look huge here," and I put, "It's either as tall as him or the camera angle makes it look that way."
Wow. Yeah.
It's huge. Um, he notices the doll with the twisted head and points it out, and she says that Tyler must have done it. And then cue Tyler coming in saying that Maggie's being mean to her. Sam asks if she wants him to fix the doll, and she says she didn't break it, she found it like that. Then mentions her grandma. This was all like really just kind of jammed in here.
Mhm. Mhm.
She tells him that they were all Grandma Rose's toys, and he asks where Grandma Rose is now. And she says up in her room, and then we see a woman in a wheelchair sitting in front of a window as Sam is saying that he would love to speak to her about her dolls. And Susan snaps no at him, then explains it would be impossible as her mother is sick and not taking any visitors. And in my notes, I just wrote, this poor woman, why is she just locked up in a dark room upstairs?
In an attic.
Yeah,
Like a shameful secret.
she's not allowed like a normal room, like a living room or something, with some
Yeah,
light.
no. Yeah. So I wrote down, so it was one creepy doll lady, but because I watched the whole episode, I was like, it's Grandma Rose. So Rose's sister dies when she's a kid, and her rich as fuck parents just bought her $1 million. And that's
Oh,
how this monstrosity came to be.
yeah. And now she's being haunted by her sister.
Exactly. Yep. Because then they were like, you know what's a great idea? Is we'll get a doll made in your dead sister's likeness, and we'll probably put her real hair on it because
That is the
Providence,
creepiest
right?
one
We
out of
know.
all of them.
It is the creepiest doll out of all of them. It's this
Mm-mm.
perfect likeness of the girl who plays her sister, who's a total evil weirdo. Um, she is though. She is the
It's
devil.
the way you
She's
said
like
it. You were
tiny
describing the
baby
actress,
murder
not
child.
the. I
No,
thought
the
you were
actress is
describing the
awesome.
actress.
No,
Yeah,
she's a cute little.
she's really
I'm
good.
sure she's grown up now, but like at the time of filming, she's adorable. And there's outtakes with her in it, and she's great. I love her. Um,
Yeah,
so talented. Her character, so creepy, so evil.
yeah, I
Blech.
agree.
Creepy child. This is why we did not spawn.
Yeah. So then they leave and discuss how dolls are used in Hoodoo and speculate that Granny must be the witch doctor.
Can I just say that dolls are used in magic all around the world and not just in Hoodoo? And there's this weird shit where, like, because of evil Hollywood, doll magic gets only associated with voodoo dolls and Hoodoo. And that's
Hmm.
stupid and also wrong. And I just needed to point that out.
So then Dean tells Sam to see if he can find out if she's whacked anybody before. And then he says, don't go surfing porn. That's not the kind of whacking I mean.
And Sam dies in the corner because, again, Dean is never letting him live that incident down in the motel. Never living it down. And I am thriving. I was slain. I was dead. Okay. Amazing.
Also, he keeps bringing this up, and it's like, are we supposed to believe that Dean has never watched porn before? Because I don't believe that for a second.
Oh no, we totally know that he has. Because the way he says that Sam has guilt over surfing the internet for porn is like, oh, this sweet baby angel child. And which Dean is clearly not. So yeah, no, it's so funny. And it's that he is filthy and unrepentant, but Sam is a good person, and so he doesn't like for anybody to know.
He feels guilty about it.
He feels guilty.
So then Susan is signing some papers and talking to a man who has bought the hotel, or like works for the company that bought the hotel, asking what renovations he's planning. But he says that they're tearing it down.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
The transcript says Susan signs a wordy legal document with the word agreement at the top. A weak-chinned lawyer stands nearby.
A weak chinned.
Weak-chinned lawyer.
Oh.
That took me out.
Where are you reading that from? Is it Supernatural Wiki again?
It is, yeah. Oh god. Oh, okay. I'm okay. I'm good.
So then we cut to Tyler, and she's humming Ring Around the Roses, and the doll that keeps moving in the replica hotel is sitting on the side of a bed. And then we see the man who Susan was just talking to sitting in the same position on his bed. Then the door to the room in the doll's house opens, and the same thing plays out in real life. The man loosens his tie, and then it keeps going backwards and forwards. We cut back to Tyler, who stops playing with her dolls and looks in the doll's house to see the doll is now hanging from a ceiling fan. And then we cut to this happening in real life.
Because that's not traumatic for a child.
No.
My literal only note on that scene is Ghost Child murders real estate guy.
Real estate guy. Weak chinned
Real
lawyer.
estate guy. Weak chinned lawyer. Oh, I'm never gonna get over that. Oh, it was funny. I was so not expecting that.
So Sam looks out of the window and sees the body of the man being taken away. And Dean asks Susan what happened, and she says a maid found him and he worked for the company who bought the hotel. She says she doesn't understand why there seems to be so much bad luck around the hotel, and tells Dean that they can leave if they want and get a full refund. And he says he doesn't scare that easy. And then he goes back to the room to tell Sam what happened. And I just like, he's drunk for some reason now, but I thought he was possessed to start with.
Yeah, Laura was messaging me going, "What's wrong with him?"
I was like, oh, what's happened to Sam?
I was laughing my head off because this is one of everybody's favorite funny moments. Because like the moment before he's really sad is hilarious. And if you think that I'm not going to read that, you are tripping and you do not know me. I'm saying this to everyone, not just to Laura, like just to everyone. But I wrote down, because what I thought was really cool is there's a Shining reference. There's a Stephen King reference, because it's room 237 that he's in. And as the camera pans into the silhouette of him sitting in the room, you see that on the key, there's like a big sort of like room key sign hanging off of it. And I went, ooh, the overlook. The overlook is overlooking. So I love that. And then Sam's all slumped in this chair, and Dean walks in, and he's like, "There's been another one. Some guy just hung himself in his room." And Sam's like, "Yeah, I saw." And Dean says, "We got to figure this out, and fast. What did you find out about Granny?" And Sam goes, "You're the boss." And Dean's like, "What?" And Sam looks at him and he goes, "You're bossy and short." And then he cracks up. And I laughed so hard because the short jokes just go on, and it's merciless, and it makes me so happy. It's because Jensen isn't actually short. He's like 6'1" or something. He's not the tallest of tall, but nor is he short. But Jared is obviously just so tall that everyone looks short next to him. And it's the way he's like, "You're bossy and short." It's one of the best lines ever.
That was funny.
And then Dane's like, "Are you drunk?" And Sam goes, "Yeah." And then he laughs and he's like, "So stupid." Like, he calls Dane stupid. He's like, "Stupid." And Dane's just like, "Oh man." And he looks around and he sees all the empty bottles. And this sadly is the end of the funny part. Like, headcanon, I feel like this scene ends there because it's hilarious. But then we kind of get into the weeds of what's happening emotionally, don't we? So Dean says, "Dude, what are you thinking? We're working a case." And Sam, who is kind of crying, is like, "That guy who hung himself, I couldn't save him." Dean's like, "What are you talking about? You didn't know. You couldn't have done anything." And Sam looks at Dean and he says, "That's an excuse, Dean. I should have found a way to save him. I should have saved Ava too." So this is like what it's like really about.
Mm-hmm.
So Dean walks over to Sam and he says, "Yeah, well, you can't save everyone. Even you said that." And Sam slams on the table. And I'm pretty sure he didn't do it with his broken hand this time. So maybe he's like learned that he shouldn't do that. Because I swear, every other script where it says he slams his, but Jared slams his broken arm. And every time I'm like, "Ooh, no, why?" So he says, "No, Dean, you don't understand, all right? The more people I save, the more I can change." And Dean says, "Change what?" And he says, "My destiny, Dean." And he's so sincere, but he's so drunk. And Dean says, "All right, time for bed. Come on, Sasquatch." And that I think that's the first Sasquatch joke, and that made me happy. So he hauls Sam physically up by the shoulders and drags him over to the bed, and he says, "Come on." And Sam says, "I need you to watch out for me." And Dean says, "Yeah, I always do." And that part's so cute. And I wrote down that that was a thirst trap because it is. He's so
Yeah, it's
sincere.
cute.
He's like, "I always do." So adorable.
Also, with the
And
with the Sasquatch thing, does he call him it a lot? Because apparently that's his real nickname for him.
yeah, yeah,
I had a fun fact about that. Jensen's nickname for Jared is Sasquatch. It
yeah,
was cute.
yeah. It's great. It's so adorable. I love it so much. And then Sam starts going, "No, no, no, no. You have to watch out for me, all right? And if I ever turn into something that I'm not, you have to kill me." And Dean's like, "Sam." And Sam's shoving Dean to go face to face with him. And he's, "Dean, Dad told you to do it. You have to," which is like child logic. And
Yeah.
Dean says, "Yeah, well, Dad's an ass." And I was like, thirst trap. Yes. Standing up for your brother. It was so cute. And Sam Sam is so confused because obviously Dean loved his father and usually defends him. And at this point he's like, "Dad was the worst. Shut up." And
Yeah.
Sam's like, "What? What is this?" And Dean says he never should have said anything. "I mean, you don't do that. You don't. You don't lay that kind of crap on your kids." And Sam says, "No, he was right to say it. Who knows what I might become? Even now, everyone around me dies." And Dean says, "Yeah, well, I'm not dying, okay? And neither are you. Come on, Sam." And I wrote down, "But you have. A few times, haven't
Yeah.
you?" You basically died twice. Basically. Close to dying twice. I mean, like, can we just and then I wrote, "Poor Dean." So then he
Yeah.
pushes Sam onto the bed, but Sam's still kind of sitting up and he's grabbing Dean by the jacket. And Sam says, "No, please, Dean, you're the only one who can do it, promise." And I was thinking to myself, Gordon could totally kill you. But then I was like, well, to be fair, if he tried to make some kind of deal with Gordon would just take him out then and there. So that would work. Um,
Yeah.
so I was like, in a way, it is true because Dean is probably the only hunter who would
And
be
Gordon's
strong
in
enough.
jail at the moment.
And Gordon's in jail, yeah. So he probably would be the only person who could realistically do it. And it just adds this
Yeah.
layer of like drama and tragedy. And he makes Dean promise, and Dean says, "Don't ask that of me." And Sam says, "Dean, please, you have to promise me." And Dean waits and he says, "I promise." And then Sam says, "Thank you."
Mhm.
And then he grabs Dean's face and he's like, "Thank you." And then he starts to say something like soppy and adorable. And Dean, who is uncomfortable with displays of affection, pushes him away and says, all right, come on. And then shoves him down to make him go to sleep because he is probably going to pass out.
Yeah. And then Dean goes for a little drinky poos in the Colorado lounge.
He does, in fact. We both
Well,
wrote that
basically,
down.
anyway.
We were like, oh my God, this is just that whole scene. It's just that whole scene.
It's just the
And
shot when you first see the bar and everything, because it's got like the illumination behind the
yeah,
bar, the sole bartender, the completely empty bar. It's
yeah.
definitely just straight up The
I
Shining.
I wrote down this is the lounge bar from The Shining, and then I wrote down this old guy probably got Sam shit faced.
Yeah.
He wants everybody to drink. I feel like he's like, Sam's having a hard time. He's like, and Sam goes
Bloody
in and he's just
Sherwin.
like, yeah, Sherwin's like, take the bottles. Or Sam steals the bottles when he's not looking after having been enticed to drink. It's hilarious. So Sherwin asks, "Did you find any good antiques?" And Dean says, no, I got distracted. And Sherwin says, "Have a drink." And I'm like, that's what you said to Sam, isn't it? And Dean says, "Yeah, thanks." And he says, "So, poor guy, huh? Killing himself?" And Sherwin says, "That kind of thing seems to be going around lately." And Dean says, yeah, I heard about the other one. It's almost like this hotel is cursed or something." And Sherwin says, "Every hotel has its spilled blood. If people only knew what's going on in some of those rooms they've checked into." And I was like, A, The Shining. B, I know this because I think if you have friends who listen to true crime, or if you listen to spooky stuff, you've probably come across the statistics for hotel deaths. And like, you are so much more statistically likely to die in a hotel or a motel than you are at home. So there's reasons for
Mhm.
that. But like, There's violence, there's crime, and there's also, unfortunately, very sad mental health issues that I'm not gonna go into because we're a comedy. But if you want to unveil all of the horrors, then if you go down towards the bottom of my show notes, there's a bit that says, "Warning, graphic descriptions of gore and violence and deaths." That bit is the bit about hotels. So they found a crime scene cleaner whose job it is to go and clean up hotel rooms where terrible, terrible things have happened. One of the things he does is he outlines how you can know if someone's been killed in your hotel room. And
Oh.
he goes on to talk about he
Nice.
went to stay in Vegas once and he looked around his room and saw all of these signs and he was like 100% someone died in this room. So then he went to
Oh.
ask to change rooms because this is literally his job. He's a professional, right? And he's done it at this point for like 20 years, I think he said. And the hotel was like, "We have no record of that, sir." And he went, "Oh, that's not right." So then he went to the Vegas police and they went, "We have no record of that, sir." And he's starting to get really creeped out. So then he goes to the cold cases and they're like, "We have no record of that." And so he just went away going, "What the fuck?" And I
Oh.
was like, "Conspiracy."
Yeah.
Um but yeah, it's not reading for everyone. Which is why I've put a warning in front of it. So like,
Mm.
reader beware. That one is pretty gory and pretty graphic. But I wanted to find an article to back up what I already know, which is that hotels are like murder dens, death dens, creepy as hell. Um there's so many weird things. So like when he said that line, I was like, "Oh, that's true. That's real true."
Yeah. Ugh. I wouldn't be able to do that job, but I like massive respect to people that can.
Yep.
I bet they've got some stories to tell though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's so many in that article. They're so unhinged. So I cannot unsee it. Like, I kind of wish that I hadn't read it because now I can't unknow what I know.
I'd be interested to know the signs to look out for.
So those are if you have different sets of drapes, if a section of the carpet or the carpet has been replaced, but specifically if it's like kind of mismatched. Um, and then things like interesting staining and like the rust or brown colored staining that you'll see, like especially on ceilings and ceiling tiles, because they
Ugh.
don't always replace those because most people are not going to look at the ceiling. And he said that it's the worst in like cheap motels that like if you because they don't ever want to pay out to replace
Mhm.
everything. So he said that like a lot of the time the mattresses will be scrubbed and covered, but they won't be replaced. So someone could have
Yeah.
bled out on your mattress and they didn't replace it.
Ugh.
So he's like, cheap motels are the creepiest of all. He said
So
in the
everywhere
good
on our road
ones,
trip.
yeah, in the good ones, he said it's much more likely that they'll have just gutted everything that got touched, and replaced everything. So that those are the signs. Is like when you find like there's a different lampshade from that one over there, or like there's a different section of carpet over here. These blinds are different from those blinds. Those are the signs.
So yeah, Dean then says to Sharon that he must know a lot about the place and would love to hear some stories. And Sharon's like, "Boy, you should never say that to an old man." I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
So we cut to Sharon showing Dean photos of Susan Rose and their family, and he basically tells Dean that it's the only house they've ever known. It's been in the family for centuries, and now Rose is going to go to a senior living graveyard, as he calls it, and the hotel's going to get torn down. Um, and Dean asks what's wrong with Rose, and Sharon says it isn't his place to say. They look at some more pictures. There's some of Rose as a little girl, and another one with her nanny. And Dean notices the same hoodoo symbol on a necklace around the nanny's neck. And then this is where I just wait. This hoodoo stuff is all just a red herring.
Yeah.
So then the next morning, Sam is very hungover, and Dean finds this hilarious and like ribs him a bit. And he tells Sam about the nanny and thinks that she must have taught Rose hoodoo, and they say they need to try and talk to Rose.
Dean is horrible in this scene. He is
Mm.
horrible because Sam is hungover to hell. Okay, he did terrible things to his liver. And he's not doing okay. And so he's just hanging over the toilet and his hair is everywhere. He is a mess. And Dean walks in and smiles evilly. And Dean says really loudly, "How are you feeling, Sammy?" And Sam's like, "Ugh." So Dean's basically just being a dick. And then he says, "I guess mixing whiskey and Jaeger wasn't such a gangbuster idea, was it?" And then he says, "I'll
Ugh.
bet you don't remember a thing from last night, do you?" And Sam goes, "Oh." And then he says, "Oh, I can still taste the tequila." And Dean is kind of like laughing. And then he says, there's a really good hangover remedy. It's a greasy pork sandwich served up in a dirty ashtray. And Sam goes, "What?" And then he's like, "Oh, I hate you." And I wrote down too far. He's gone too far. Dean, you're being
Yeah.
horrible. It's funny, but he's being evil.
Yeah, he's been an arsehole. So then they go to the private residence part, and no one answers, so they break in, as they usually do.
Usually.
They go
Yeah.
upstairs. They go upstairs and find Rose in her room, and this woman just looks terrified, and she's pretty much unresponsive as well.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
and Sam kind of like checks her out and says that she's had a stroke, so it means that it can't be her behind everything. And
Mm-hmm.
Dean says she could be faking. And Sam sarcastically suggests poking her with a stick, and Dean nods, agreeing. And Sam's like, "Dude, you're not going to poke her with a stick."
I wrote it down. What do you want to do? Poke her with a stick? And Dean's like, "Yes, this is perfect." Like, he doesn't say it out loud, but in his expression and his vehement nodding,
Yeah.
he's like, "That is a solid plan. Poke her with a stick and see if she's faking." And Sam is totally disgusted, and he's like, "We're not gonna poke her with a stick." He is outraged. He's like, "What is wrong with you?" And it's so funny. It's so funny.
And this is when Susan then comes in and is like, "What are you doing in here?"
Yeah,
And she tells them she wants them out in 2 minutes or she's calling the cops. And
which
then
is
they
fair.
literally leave and drive. They drive off.
Yeah, they do. Okay, this part is the part where I realized that she was dead. And I'll tell you how I knew
Yeah.
she was dead. Was it the same thing for you? Because they were playing Jacks, and that's an old game.
Old
And
game, yeah.
in the two, you are not going to be playing Jacks if you're like a normal kid in the 2000s. That is not what you're going to be up to. So I
Although
wrote
everything
down,
else in the house in the hotel is old though. Like she's got creepy dolls that she's playing with from her nan. She probably found some jacks as well.
but the thing is dolls are ageless and primal.
That's
And
true.
if you're a kid who likes dolls, you're going to play with dolls. But if you're a kid in the early 2000s, the chances that you at that age are going to be playing Jacks are like slim to none. Even if you're in an old house, you're just going to be like, because you're not even going to know what they are. So clearly,
Mm,
one of them has to know what they are and how to play. Her grandma's out of
yeah.
commission, so that doesn't seem very likely. Her mom is probably not going to be like, "Let's play with Jacks." So it's like, I was just like, immediately that kid is a ghost. She is dead. Haunted game.
Yeah. I remember my nan showing me how to play jacks, but again, it was my nan, not like another
Hmm.
child the same age as me.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so yeah, they're playing jacks upstairs, and Susan comes in and asks Tyler if she's packed yet, and she says no because she doesn't want to move, and Maggie says they're not allowed to. In my notes, I wrote, Susan's like, "Shut up, Tyler. Maggie isn't real, and you're too old to have an imaginary
She's
friend."
so mean. Yeah. She snaps. Like, she's clearly had a long day. She's over everything. And she doesn't do the kind mom. She does the, like, just shut up. Why do I have children? Just shut up.
It's fine. I
It's
wrote,
so
I'd
funny.
already thought she was dead from the start anyway. But yeah, so we know that she is now. And
Yeah.
Maggie says, "I don't like her." I can't remember how she says it, but she says it in a really creepy way.
She says it
Um,
like, "I don't like her." Like, bad
yeah,
things are about to happen to her.
creepy
Yeah.
children alert.
Creepy child, run away, burn it all down.
So Susan is packing up the car, and Sherwin leaves. Tyler's playing with the doll's house inside again. And we see a swing set start to swing all on its own. And then outside, where Susan is, the same thing is happening to the real swing. She walks over, to this kind of park area, and the seesaw also starts to move up and down on its own. Then Susan's car starts, because it's clearly called Christine, and the roundabout starts spinning as well.
So I had written down before, and I'm sorry I missed this note, but I'm going to tell you guys it now because it is very funny. So there's the scene with the dolls before where the murders are being acted out in the dollhouse first, right? And I wrote out,
Yeah.
okay, but why is she acting it out with dolls? Is this like her murder Pinterest where she plans it all out and makes it aesthetically pleasing and then kills? Is she like mood boarding? And then when the swings start going, I wrote down murder pinboard. I stand by that. Because I was just like, why are the dolls dying and then the people are dying? It's not explained because they did it
No.
before to like red herring us into thinking that it's like misuse of magic. And then we realized that that's not what it is. So then it's like,
Yeah.
what is the explanation for the dolls? And I was like, it has to be her. Why is she doing that though? Why is she doing the stuff to the dolls? What are we supposed to think that she's planning it out, or are we supposed to think that she's somehow magical and so she's making it happen when she's doing the things to the doll house that's happening to the real people? I don't know, but then that doesn't feel real because she has to physically shove her great niece into the pool to kill her later. So
Yeah.
I just feel like
I don't. It's one
it's
of
a bit
those.
of
I
a
think it's a plot
flag.
hole.
It's a
Yeah.
bit, yeah, it's a bit of a flag.
It's creepy though when all this playground stuff starts moving on its own.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, Susan's really scared and starts backing away, and this is when the car starts driving towards her. And then Sam runs across its path and pushes her out of the way, which was really hot. And the
First
car
round.
crashes into a tree. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So what was clearly happening was like all the playground stuff was a distraction to get her to walk to where she'd be lined up in front of the car, so the car could just go and smush her. But
Yeah.
luckily, Sam was there and saved her, and it was really hot.
How does she make the car start on its own?
She doesn't have a
It's
doll
definitely
car,
like
does
she can
she?
just. Yeah.
Apparently, she's a poltergeist.
Yeah.
Um, but I just feel like she's a poltergeist with plot holes because they just we're just supposed to go ooh supernatural ooh.
Poltergeist with plot holes.
It's the thing is it's totally fine until you start to think about it intellectually, and they go, "Oh, this is strange. Why does that happen?"
I hope it's not that they are trying to say that it's hoodoo and she learnt it from the nanny or whatever as well, and because that just seems. I hope that's not it.
Icky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if that was the case, then she would have been able to counteract what her sister was doing because she was also the older sister. So she would have
Yeah.
theoretically been more experienced, unless the nanny sensed the evil in her and was like, "No."
I
So
think actually Dean says in the next scene that it's not the hoodoo anymore as well, doesn't he? Because
yeah, they're like, I think they think that it's
they go
just a straight up
inside.
poltergeist.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They go inside and Susan says she needs whiskey. And they discuss what's going on, and Dean says they
Wait, I figured it out. I'm sorry, but I think I figured it out, and I feel really smart. Two
a
things
light
are
bulb.
happening. Yeah, light bulb moment. Number one, you know how Annabelle is supposed to be able to affect like cars and shit and cause
Ah,
accidents. And
yeah.
then she's supposed to be able to like influence terrible accidents. I think that they're referencing Annabelle with the doll because she has her own haunted doll of herself. So I think they've given her Annabelle powers. And then the ghosts
Yeah.
in the Shining also have the ability to like make strange shit happen and do all kinds of weird stuff. So like I think they've combined her. Like they've taken the Shining and they've taken Annabelle and they've mixed it up and put it into her, but they just haven't told us what they're doing.
Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, so they've all gone inside, they discuss what's going on, and Dean says that they thought it was just a hoodoo curse at first, but that what just happened is definitely a spirit. And she tells Dean he's insane.
I down. Yeah, let's go inside the haunted house where 4 people have died and not run far away from this location. That part where she tells Dean that he's insane was pretty great.
Yeah.
I wrote down, in the hands of a white lady, hoodoo is good. Eye roll, which I sort of said before, but that's basically the summary of what happens. Where they're like, oh, I guess it's not hoodoo. White people. And I went, ugh. And then they have the conversation. They establish the timeline of when the killings began. And they realize that if Rose was working hoodoo, it must have been to protect them. Heavy eye roll. And then Sam's like, right, but then she had a stroke and she couldn't do it anymore. And Susan's like, I don't believe this. And I was like, yeah, you and me both, sister. And Dean literally says, listen, sister, that car didn't try to run you down by itself, okay? I mean, I guess it did technically, but the spirit can forget it. And that was really funny because he was trying to say something and be all macho and manly, and he totally messed up. And it was so funny. And Sam dives in to save him, and he's like, look, believe what you want, but the fact is that you and your family are in danger, all right? So you need to clear everybody out of here. Your employees, your mother, your daughters, everyone. And she's like, I only have one daughter. And Sam's like, one?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And Dean goes, I thought Tyler had a sister named Maggie. And Susan's like, Maggie's imaginary. And Sam's like, where's Tyler? Because the penny has dropped now. They go,
Yeah.
oh, shit. She's dead.
Could they see her?
So I asked myself that.
Yeah.
And I still don't know. I don't
either.
know.
I was like, could they see her, or was it just from what Tyler had said?
I'd have to go back and rewatch it again to try to work that one out, like, specifically, because it's really unclear. But either way, it's spooky. So Maggie is standing in front of Rose, and Rose is fucking terrified, and Maggie's being super menacing because she's an evil little child, and she's saying, she's gonna stay here with me, and you can't stop me. There's nothing you can do about it. And then Tyler comes in and tells her off for bothering her grandma. And then she says, I know, come on, let's play. And Tyler says, can we have a tea party? And Maggie says, we can have lots of tea parties. Forever and ever and ever. And ever. It's so creepy.
Another Shiny reference.
Oh, see that one, I forgot. That's such a good reference, and I totally went over. I'm so stupid. Ugh. Okay, that's amazing. So, another reference, guys. Another reference. I feel like this is the perfect place to put my Stanley Hotel Easter egg.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm gonna tell you the theory one that I have first, and then I'm gonna dive into the Easter egg, the proper Easter egg. So when we were watching it, I was saying to Laura that I'm sure this is based on the Stanley, which is the hotel that inspired Stephen King to write The Shining.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be super haunted.
Yeah. Haunted AF.
Haunted AF. So much so that at one point Ghost Adventures went in to investigate. And I remembered from this episode that they encountered a little girl ghost who was supposed to have drowned in the pool. Now, the Stanley doesn't currently have a pool. Yeah, Zach. Zach is Zach.
Yeah, Zach. Shut up, Zach.
Go alone. So I found something about it because I was like, has it ever had a pool? And someone posted from Windsor, Colorado, where they were asking about the Stanley Hotel having a pool. And this person replied and said, the historic main hotel at the Stanley Hotel does not have a pool. Years ago, there was a pool. There is a pool at the newer and more modern Aspire residences. Not only is the pool at the Aspire residences not open to the public, though, I believe it is only available to guests who book the Aspire residences and no other hotel guests. So that was interesting. And then I went looking for what I remembered from this Ghost Adventures episode, but I didn't have time to rewatch the episode. And I didn't totally want to rewatch the whole episode because Zach is a lot. You know what I'm saying? You're not always in the mood for Ghost Adventures. Laura and I watch it ironically.
I'd like watching it, but yeah, you're just like, Why? Because he antagonizes the ghost. I don't like it.
Well, see, that's why I say we watch it ironically, because we watch it
Yeah,
specifically to laugh a lot
he's
of the
just a
time.
dick.
He's such a dick. So I found someone who wrote a blog about that episode, and her name is Lynn Sunderland, and this is from her blog on WordPress. So I got this clip, and it says, she shared her experience while staying at the Stanley with the ghost of Katie, a girl close to her in age. So there's a psychic girl who's supposed to be around 6 or 7, the age of the girls in this episode. And her name was Bailey. And so Bailey goes to the Stanley and sees a ghost girl her age.
Oh,
And the description goes like, Bailey had crawled into bed for the night and dozed off when she felt someone tickling her feet. On one of her
ew.
hands was hanging off the bed a bit. While half awake, she felt a warm hand take hers. At first, she thought her mom was holding her hand. However, when she turned over, the warm clasp and the feeling of the weight of the hand had disappeared, and there was no one there.
No, thank you.
So, this is when
Leaving.
she starts talking to the ghost of Katie. And I was just like, oh my god, the little girl ghosts, the pool. So that all really tied together for me, and I was like, 100% this is the Stanley, and that's the
Yeah.
reference of the episode. So then I found an article, like I found a few articles about different haunted places in this area of Connecticut, but I found an article that really breaks it down really well. So the article says the Stanley Hotel is the stand-in for the Overlook Hotel in the series. And Stephen King went and stayed there and was so inspired by what happened that he wrote The Shining. So they call it the Disneyland for ghosts. It's one of its nicknames.
Cool. Put it on the
It
website.
says, it has hosted countless paranormal investigations, including by teams from Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures and Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunters. Guests can get in on the action with the Stanley Hotel's Ghost Adventure package, where they are assigned a room on the 4th floor complete with ghost hunting equipment and a mug with the famous message, Red Rum.
Ooh, I want it.
Ghostly occurrences are reported in almost every room of this vast hotel, from shadowy figures, eerie laughter, flickering lights to items moving on their own. The Stanley Hotel has all your favorite phenomena. If you get too spooked, just find a member of the cleaning staff. Apparently, the ghosts hate vacuum cleaners. Every time someone vacuums, the machines go haywire and turn off, or the plugs come flying out of the wall. That's dramatic.
Are they dogs? Scared of the vacuum cleaner.
The 4th floor. Guests staying on the 4th floor report hearing children running around, laughing, giggling, and playing. And I was like, ooh, that ties
Yeah, no
in
thanks.
well. The closet doors tend to open and shut on their own. More than a century ago, the entire 4th floor was a cavernous attic. Later, it became lodging for female employees, children, and nannies. Could it be that the Grady twins are more than the fabrication of King's macabre imagination? Question mark. And I was like, ooh, that's spooky. As spooky. So yeah,
That's good.
that's my Stanley Easter egg.
That was cool. I want to go there.
Yeah, same.
So Susan, Sam, and Dean go to the private part of the hotel, and all of the dolls are on the floor, and like they're all smashed and like broken into pieces, and it's really spooky.
And I wrote down Maggie killed the dolls.
Yeah. Did you notice the music though? The score turns very like Psycho-esque. You know the shower scene part of Psycho?
Oh yeah.
When it's like showing all the faces of all the dolls. I was like, oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. Oh, that is I didn't put 2 and 2 together at the time, but now that you mention it, I can see that.
It was similar to that like
Yeah.
bit. Susan says Tyler isn't there. They ask what she knows about Maggie, and Susan says Tyler has been talking about her since Rose got sick. Sam asks if she knows anyone called Maggie, and she says her mother had a sister called Margaret who drowned in the pool as a kid. They rush out, and it was like, did she not put 2 and 2 together before now? Maggie, Margaret. But anyway. They rush out and we see a doll that looks a bit like Maggie, and I didn't like it. It was the creepiest doll of them all.
Yeah, it's clearly her doppelganger. Like, that's clearly her morning doll, and it's probably her
Yeah.
actual hair. It
It had,
is.
like, her ringlets and stuff.
No, it's absolutely terrifying, and I was like, it's so eerie and so messed up. And none of the Winchesters were like, "We should." Well, I guess they hadn't seen the picture. No, wait, they had. They had. Because I didn't put it here, I put it right at the end because there's that scene right at the end where it's a close-up of that doll. But I wrote down, "The eerie as fuck Maggie doll, the haunted object. For fuck's sake, Sam, the one time you don't think haunted object."
It's cursed object. Everything's a cursed object.
Yeah, yeah.
So at the pool house, Tyler and Maggie are standing on a ledge overlooking the pool, and Tyler says she's scared. Maggie tells her to jump, and Tyler's like, "I can't swim." And Maggie's like, "Yeah, that's the point, stupid." She didn't say that, but
That is the vibe, though.
like, that's the point. You're supposed to die, so you can stay with me here forever and ever
Forever
and
and
ever.
ever and ever.
um, Tyler asks why she can't just leave with them, and Maggie says she can't leave there, and says that Tyler can't leave her. And I wrote, "Okay, toxic friendship alert."
What's worse is she's her great aunt, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's literally her great aunt. She's
Yeah.
so evil and so gross.
hmm
Blech.
I wrote a note here to say that these two kids are actually really good actors, and Maggie is creepy AF.
Yeah, they're amazing actors.
They're
10
good.
out of 10.
And this is where I have my fun fact about the pool house as well.
Tell me all the things.
Oh, this is interesting. So, it's from IMDb. The pool house where Tyler is almost drowned is the same pool house used in the Psych episode Sean Rescues Darth Vader from 2011. I never really watched Psych. Did you watch that?
Not really.
It says the two shows share multiple sets throughout the years as they were both filmed in Canada. And it was also the boathouse where Christian Grey proposes to Anna Steele in 50 Shades Darker. I didn't watch that either. But it was a really cool building. It looked really cool. I can see why it gets used as movie set.
Yeah, it is a really cool building.
So this is where we have a bit of a flag, don't we?
Yeah.
Because Sam and Dean are trying to break into the pool house, and even though they're usually so good at this, for some reason today they can't even smash glass with all of their strength.
Yeah. I just had a full rant about it. Like, when we were watching it, we both had a rant. I was like, okay, they're trying to break in but can't even though this place was built in 1903, Dean suddenly can't kick down a door, which is his best skill set. It is ridiculous, you guys. Like, this glass that they have in this scene is obviously like bulletproof or shatterproof glass of some kind, because Sam, who is a giant, is smashing it with a metal chair or something. I can't remember what it is that he picked, but it was like a big metal object, and he is huge, and he is smashing it. And you just see it like safety glass crack. Like, but not even give. And it's so
And he has powers.
unbelievably dumb. And he has powers. And like, the only excuse that I could make is like, clearly Maggie is an evil poltergeist and can affect surroundings, but I don't know about this. Like, I don't know about this.
Put
I
up
just
like a
felt
force field around it.
yeah, that was my thought process. And I think that's what we're supposed to think, and it's supposed to make it scary. But honestly, this whole thing just enraged me, because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't care. You're trying to tell me that the Winchesters can't break glass right now. You're trying to tell me that they can't break into a building that is so old. You're trying to tell me that Dean Winchester, who kicks in doors like he breathes oxygen, can't kick in this weak ass looking door. Okay, I could not.
And he's had so many like Jack Torrance, his Johnny moments as well, and he hasn't done it this time.
And then in this episode, which should be the episode, they fucking cheat us out of it. I feel like they did this to us on purpose to just be mean, honestly. Like, what the shit, man? So Tyler falls into the pool. They freak out. They're still trying to break in. She's fallen into the water. Manages to get up for a second, but Maggie, who's an evil little bitch, grabs her and pushes her head down to drown her.
Yeah, she's holding
because
her
she's
under.
horrible. Um, Dean goes to the back door, tries to kick it in, like we were saying, fails twice, and then says, "Son of a bitch." Um, Maggie keeps holding Tyler's head under the water, and then she hears her sister's voice, but it's like a ghostly child voice for no reason
Mm.
because that woman's an old woman, so it should have been an old lady voice. But you just hear Margaret, Margaret, or whatever. I'm so annoyed
She's
at this
dead
scene,
fish.
honestly.
Margaret.
Oh god. So Sam finally breaks through the glass and manages to get through. And then this is so cool. This stunt is
This
sick
is
as
hot.
fuck. It's the ultimate thirst trap. I think he really did this stunt, but I want to rewind it and like watch it step by step to see if it's his face.
Yeah, I
But
forgot to
like
pause it.
I'm pretty sure that he did it. Like it really looks like he did it.
He definitely
Um
had a cast on, so I think it might have been because this is where I was like, he's getting his cast wet again.
Yeah, they're gonna have to replace it again. So he runs, stands on top of the railing, launches himself off, and jumps down into the pool, which is like, I don't know how many feet of a drop that is, but it looks
No.
really high. Like it looks
And he like
uncomfortably
cannonballs as
high.
well.
He goes, like he straight goes. And it is the sexiest thing that I've ever seen in my life. I wrote down ultimate thirst trap. It takes up like 3 fingers worth of the page in bold capital letters, circled several times. This is the thirst trap of the episode. I'm calling it now. Like I love Dean, but no, it's Sam this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So Dean breaks through the back door and he and Susan rush to meet Sam as he exits the pool. Now, this is another thing that pisses me off. Tyler comes back to life magically for no reason. Okay, she was drowned. She
They
was
didn't
like
do
fucking.
anything.
She was like dead,
Yeah.
passed out. No one's doing anything. Everybody's just looking at her little corpse and horror or whatever. No one's going mouth to mouth. No one's going CPR.
Yeah, no one
one's
like
going
tried to resuscitate
turn
her.
her on her side. Check to see if she has a pulse. Check to see if she's breathing. Check to see if I cannot.
They literally
Okay,
just stare at her.
they just look at her and she magically coughs up the water for no reason. It is so dumb and I can't get over it.
So yeah, then Sam asks her if she sees Maggie anywhere, and she says no, she's gone.
Mhm.
And then we see Maggie and Rose again. Are they in the attic again now? I think so.
Yeah, they're in the attic because that's obviously what you do with your mom who's had a stroke. You hide her in the attic like
Aw,
she's a
the poor
shameful
woman.
secret.
Yeah.
This poor lady.
And they seem to be having like a telepathic conversation. Have you got the script?
Yeah. So Maggie says, "You'd really do that for me?" And then there's a pause. So like we don't hear Rose's side of this conversation because it takes place in her head. And she says, "Yes. If you did, I'd let them go. But I don't understand. You kept me away for so long. I thought you didn't love me anymore." And then there's another pause. And she says, "Okay, little sister." And she reaches forward and she caresses Rose's cheek, but she has murder in her eyes. Let's not lie. Like
Yeah, she's a little
she's like,
psycho.
"If you kill me, I'll come and play with you forever. So you should just kill me." So she sacrifices herself
Yeah.
to save her granddaughter and to hang out with her evil sister forever. But here's the thing that I thought is I was like, was this Rose's revenge? Because she maybe knows, she probably knows that the hotel is going to be demolished. So she's probably thinking,
Yeah.
I'll die now, protect my grandchild, play with my sister, and then everything's going to get torn down and destroyed. And Maggie, who's an evil spirit at this point, is tied to the building. So when the building's destroyed, she'll be fucked. And then Rose will get to go off to her afterlife. So it's actually kind of a genius plan.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so Susan and Tyler are climbing the stairs, and Susan's telling Tyler they just need to get Grandma, and then they're going to be leaving. And we cut back to Sam and Dean, and Dean's like, "Why did Maggie just stop?" And then they hear Susan scream, and they run up to Rose's room and see she's dead, because of what we just said. So she sacrificed herself. And then a little bit later, Rose's body is being put in a coroner's van, and Susan tells Sam and Dean the paramedics told her it was another stroke, but asks if they think Margaret could have had something to do with it. And they say they don't know, but it's possible. Sam tells Susan he's sorry because he's just a sweet baby angel.
Mhm,
She
mhm.
says there's nothing to be sorry for. And Tyler comes out and Dean asks her if she's sure Maggie isn't around anymore. And she says she's sure. And then they all walk Susan and Tyler over to the taxi that's waiting for them. And then before she gets in, she hugs Sam. And I can't blame her for that because he's hot.
He is hot. I wrote down, "Oh, she hugs Sam. Sam is the hero." And then my next note is Dean cheapens the moment.
Yeah, as usual.
Yeah. So Dean says, "Think you could have hooked up some MILF action there, bud. I'm serious. I think she liked you." And Sam's like, "Yeah, that's all she needs." And Dean says, "Well, you saved the mom. You saved the girl. Not a bad day. Of course, I could have saved him myself, but I didn't want you to feel useless." And Sam's like, he's
Yeah.
laughing kind of low key. He's like, "Yeah, all right, I appreciate it." But it's so sarcastic. It's great. Dean is so clearly like used to being like hero guy. And in this episode,
Yeah.
Sam is so clearly the hero. Dean's just like, "I could have done it." It's so funny. And then Dean's like, "It feels good to be back in the saddle, doesn't it?" And Sam's like, "Yeah, it does, but it doesn't change what we talked about last night, Dean." Dun dun dun.
He remembered.
He remembers. And Dean's like, "We talked about a lot of things last night." And Sam's like, "You know what I mean." And Dean's like, "You were wasted." And Sam's like, "But you weren't, and you promised." And they get into the car, and Sam is straight up emo kid. And Dean is very sad about everything, also emo kid. Um, I was like, emo everywhere, sad bros. That's what I wrote
You
down.
remember everywhere.
And then I wrote, "The dead girls play together. Eerie's fuck Maggie doll." And then that
That's
was the part
creepy.
where I said about the haunted objects. And like the one time that Sam's not like, "A haunted object."
Maybe
And
he
you
didn't notice the
think,
dog.
the thing is, they went in the room. There were all the dolls.
Mm,
Okay. They've already done Provenance, right? They already know about the haunted dolls and the hair. And like they did not see this doll that looks exactly like the dead little girl in the photo. Just this was
yeah.
not their day. They suddenly became terrible at everything. Like they didn't find the haunted object and they can't even break glass. They're just helpless little babies.
My note for the last bit was we get some shots of inside the hotel and we then see two girls counting, giggling, and skipping together, which is really creepy.
Mhm.
As the sisters are reunited now in death. Then another very unnecessary shot of all the creepy dolls on their shelves, including the Maggie doll.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Agree.
We
Agree.
didn't need that yet.
We did not. No.
Creepy children, creepy dolls.
It was a lot. It was a lot of creepiness. It's good and spooky though.
Yeah, it
Scary
was good. I
episode.
liked that episode.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Mm.
Do you want to do games?
Yes.
We can't really do villain hot or not today.
That's not accessible. No. No, 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 no. No,
No.
no, no. It hasn't. No.
Episode scare rating.
6.57 ish.
Mm-hmm. I gave it an 8, but I don't quite know. It wasn't like jump out of your skin scary. It's probably just because of the dolls. That bumped it up for me.
We're not very far off of each other. Because there were lots of twists. It was a really good whodunit. It was really eerie and creepy. Even
It's
though
all
I
the
liked the building and I want to
shininess.
stay there, it was
Mm.
super creepy. There's lots of shininess. There's like creepy evil children murdering people. Blech.
Yeah.
There's really creepy dolls. There's the clown doll jump scare right at the beginning, and then there's all the murder jump scares. And yeah, it's very, very intensely creepy. And the gore of that one dude with his mouth open like a fish, clearly
Yeah,
still
that was
alive with
really
his head
creepy.
around all the way the wrong way. That is no.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that was
it's a pretty
yeah.
decently scary episode, I have to say, in my opinion.
What was your favourite quote?
It's when Sam says it's true about loving the dolls. Where it's that whole scene where Dean's like,
Oh, yeah.
this one loves dolls and he has little outfits and he dresses them up. And it would make his day if you would let him see your doll collection. And Sam has to say it's true because he hates it so much.
That's funny. I've got two. I've got Dean saying, "Wow, that's a lot of dolls, and they're nice. They're not super creepy at all."
That's a good one.
And
I
I
just
had
did the
Sam
creepiest
say,
laugh. I did like a tickle me Elmo laugh.
I also had Sam saying, "Dude, you're not going to poke him with a stick."
That was amazing too. That one was so funny.
I think I might have to go with that second one, actually.
Well, you know what my thirst trap is. Is your thirst trap the same thirst trap?
Sound jumping in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. There's no other choice, really, is
The
there?
only other bit is Sam pushing Susan out of the way of Christine.
Human shield.
Yeah.
Human shields
So
against
either of those.
Christine. Yeah.
MVP's got to be Sam as well.
Yeah, it has to be.
Oh, you know how you asked me about the shining wallpaper? So for the
Yeah.
motel rating, I put the motel from the start in Peoria. I can't never say that. I wrote funky 70s style brown and orange wallpaper. So I did notice it, but I didn't link it to The Shining.
You didn't tweet. Yeah. I would stay there.
Yeah.
It's funky, but it's not so funky that I look at it and go, ugh. So I would give it, I guess, maybe a 5.5 motel rating, and I would stay there.
Well, out of 5.
Would try it. Yeah.
Did you say 5.5?
Yeah, 5.5
out of 5.
Oh. I forgot that we do from 1 to 5. Okay. I would give it a 3.5.
Oh. I gave it
Maybe
a 4.
a 4.
Yeah.
So butthurt by the half a point difference. That was great. She was so sad.
But I also wrote down the hotel because that was most of it, and I just put it's really cool. I'd stay there as long as I don't have to sleep in the doll's room. 5 out of 5. 5 stars.
Agreed. I 100%. Yes.
So yeah, that is that one. That's the doll one. Are there any more doll episodes coming up I need to be aware of?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I do have more in my show notes for you guys that there isn't time for in this episode, but there's like an entire ghost town that I've linked in the show notes that's supposed to be super haunted, and it's linked to like an old curse, and it's really creepy and interesting, and it's referenced in is there a Stephen King reference in it? Maybe not. There's like a most haunted type reference where Dan Aykroyd referred to it as the most haunted place on earth. And then there's a Blair Witch reference, which then made a whole bunch of people go to this particular forest, but in this area. And then there are so many people going for like ghost stuff that there was vandalism, and then they tried to lock it down. So it's really, really interesting. So that's towards the bottom of my show notes. No, wait, I tell a lie. It's like the second thing in my show notes. There's a whole bunch more in there that's really fun. And I even found like a Reddit thread talking about this specific place listed as one of the most haunted places in Connecticut.
Ooh.
Yeah. So definitely check those out.
You'll have to keep that in case if there's anything else in Connecticut, you might be able to use it.
Add it in. Yeah.
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 That sounds fun. I haven't really got anything else to say about this episode, have you?
No.
Should we say bye then?
Bye.
Bye.
I love how our byes are the most awkward thing in existence.
I like them. Yeah. I'll leave you listen.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. We would be very grateful. And if you know someone who would enjoy it, please share.
You can find us on Instagram at the Witches of Letters podcast, or you can email us at thewitchesofletters@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay safe out there, have each other's backs, and always keep fighting.